What is going on, y'all? Side Perspectives GeoFlux here. And in this video, what we're going to talk about is monkeypox, public health. There's probably going to be a part 2 to this because I just feel like there's just so much that needs to be discussed around public health, the government. You know, I'm in the USA, the United States of America, and the way our government has been handling everything from monkeypox to coronavirus, COVID-19, to, poverty, homelessness, healthcare, mass shootings, you name it, it really doesn't even matter at this point. The way things have been handled in this country, in the USA, in my opinion, is piss poor. Piss poor across the point. Because number one, it makes no sense that in a so-called first world country that always wants to brag and boast about how great they are, right? Always on it, right? Basically propaganda at this point. And also it's just a lot of things that's just not quite adding up. I'm just going to call it for what it is. So once again, we have COVID-19. We have different variants of COVID. We have so many things going on. It is just really odd and wild how things are, set up right now. But anyways, and then monkeypox was made, first of all, monkeypox, correct me if I'm, there's like 3 dispensaries on this road. Like, you just pass back to back. Anyways, correct me if I'm wrong, but monkeypox officially was, confirmed and diagnosed and, made aware of in 1958. The first human that had monkeypox was in 1970. Correct me. Educate me if I am wrong, right? Information is going to be in the description box below too. So this is not a new virus. This has been around, my God, it's been around over 60 years. The country, the USA, for example, has had access to the vaccine for quite some time, well over 30 years. Yet, for some odd reason, they don't have any of it in stock, yet they bragged about having a stockpile that they don't have, because, good luck on finding it. And then you got to basically be in a major metropolitan area to even get tested for monkeypox, let alone get the vaccine for monkeypox. So in my situation, I live in a place outside of a smaller city. And that smaller city is not metropolitan, like, in my opinion. Because when you think about it, metropolitan, I should really just say a major city, right? So you basically got to go to Detroit or Lansing to get tested and to potentially get the vaccine in Michigan. That's piss poor, okay? But that's also because the federal government, like they did with COVID, didn't really care, waited to the last minute, and now you got a whole, basically another damn pandemic, basically, okay? And then you misinterpreted how monkeypox spread, who can get it, who can't get it. You set up here and made it seem like it was just, again, and I just feel like all of this is just targeted over and over and over again. This constant attack against LGBTQ plus people. You set up here and made it seem like only cisgendered men who sleep with other men, gay and bi men, and men who sleep with other men, particularly cisgendered men who sleep with other men. Now keep in mind, men who sleep with men in some cases, hell, it can be argued in many cases, are heterosexual, but they just go out and they like to get it in physically, sexually with a man. And they're not forthcoming or truthful about that. So their partner, which is more than likely if they're heterosexual, is a woman, can potentially get monkeypox from them. And they're not a man who sleeps with men. You see why that whole whole scenario was stupid. Not to mention the fact that monkeypox is not a sexually transmitted disease. It is not a sexually transmitted infection. It is literally in the same family of chickenpox and smallpox. I don't know why this bullshit ass government, and it ain't just the USA, it's a global issue. The homophobia, the biphobia, the transphobia. You sit up here and you spread all of this BS and misinformation. You got all these people thinking, well, we ain't got to worry about it because I'm not gay. I don't sleep with men, blah, 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 blah. And now everywhere you turn around, people are catching monkeypox because it's about skin-to-skin contact. Okay, like you could literally touch a doorknob and get monkeypox. If you are washing your clothes at a public laundry and y'all sharing, washing machines and dryers, and the person who just finished washing or drying their clothes before you and their clothes had monkeypox on it, guess what? You have monkeypox now because you put your clothes in the same damn washer and dryer. But of course, stupid ass government, full of a bunch of incompetent idiots. And then let's be real, our public health in this day and age, it is really kind of making you question, like, what's the purpose of y'all? Because y'all ain't doing shit but spreading misinformation right along with that stupid ass government. Okay? Sitting up here, and then a bunch of overpaid dumbasses. Because keep in mind, these officials are making six figures and up to sit up here to not protect you, but yet they're in the public health field. But yet, that's your elected official. Make it make sense. And that's from Democrat, Republican, whoever, and whatever country you're in. Pay attention to how these people really don't care about you. But yet, they want you to work and work and work, pay taxes, pay taxes, pay taxes, give and give and give, and you are dying. Your family's dying. You're getting sicker and sicker. You got all these people running around here who thought COVID was a joke that now have long COVID. And people are literally stroking out, having pulmonary embolisms, strokes, heart attacks, hypertension. All kinds of shit is coming from them having COVID. But keep in mind, this is the same stupid ass group who thought that COVID's a hoax. COVID's not real. That is fake. That's being put on by the liberal media. And now your dumb ass is sitting up here having pulmonary embolisms at fucking 25. So, stupid is what stupid does. And that's really what is going on here. Then, it doesn't help that you have elected officials, such as our current president, who keeps testing positive for COVID. And then turning around and telling people that, it's okay, you feel me? I'm going to get through this and I'm going to work while I'm getting through this, which then tells corporations, jobs, employers, we don't have to give you guys sick time or paid time off or short-term disability when you get COVID. That's on you. If the president can work, you can work. You think I'm playing. But you can best believe a lot of these employers are going to use that as a justification to not provide short-term disability, paid time off, sick time, any of that nature. Not to mention that COVID impacts everybody individually in a different way. Some people have similar symptoms. Some people have worse. You don't know if that person has an autoimmune disease or has a compromised immune or has, a pre-existing condition. So just because things worked out for you doesn't mean it's going to work out for them. But because everybody is so self-centered and selfish as hell and doesn't really care about other people, let alone themselves for that matter, here we are. And we're seeing the same thing with COVID, with monkeypox. They knew about this shit back in May, June of this year. It's August, and they just now talking about emergency. And again, sort of like COVID, as long as it is seen as only impacting a certain population of people, they do not care. Keep in mind, monkeypox has been a global issue for quite some time. Again, I told you, it was originally found in 1958, and the first human had it in 1970. Correct me if I'm wrong. Information will be in the description box below, too. So we're talking about over 60 years. And then we're talking about 52 plus years since it's been in the first human case. And then when you look at other countries and continents across the world, in particular, you got to bring up the continent of Africa and the various African countries who have been struggling with monkeypox for quite some time. Now, monkeypox has a 1% to 10% fatality rate. Typically, when people get monkeypox, people pretty much recover on their own in most cases. And I'm going to say some cases because we really don't know. Because as much as people talk, they're not actually going to everybody in the world to see that, hey, that you recover in 2 to 4 weeks. They're not. They have a sample that they've taken. A sample of a population that they've taken, and they base their statistics off of that. So that's why I'm just going to say some people have recovered from monkeypox in 2 to 4 weeks. And typically within a week or two, if you have lesions and scabs, they typically heal. Like they'll crust over and heal. And typically the viral, like you being viral and being contagious is typically done with in around 3 weeks. However, that's for some people. That's not for all people, right? There's people who, unfortunately, get other diseases off of having that initial virus. Case in point, mono, or the kissing disease. A lot of people don't know this, but mono is a virus that is directly related to multiple sclerosis. So a lot of people who have MS today had mono years ago. And that's why they have MS today. That's what I mean by play stupid if you want to. Play dumb if you want to. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say on that. Play stupid if you want to, because you're going to be the one suffering later on down the road with a very debilitating fucking disease because your stupid ass didn't want to take things serious. But at the same time, I can't even blame our stupid asses because look at our leadership. Your leadership is sitting up acting like everything is okay. How is Biden, I'm going to go keep it real. In this day and age, looking at how public health is set up, how is Biden administration any different than Trump's? Because the same amount of time that the Democrats and Republicans during Trump presidency set on information, they knew about COVID and fuck at the end of November, early December, and didn't tell the public for real until March. So this is no different than what it is today. They've known about monkeypox, again, for decades. They've seen how horrible it is in other countries and continents. They knew about the resurgence of it. Again, the World Health Organization been said this back in May and June of 2022. But of course, in typical USA fashion, we're not going to worry about it because, it's only for the gays. It's only for the cis gay men who sleep with men, or the cis men who sleep with cis men. Oh my God. As if women ain't sleeping with men, cis women, trans men, trans masculine, non-binary, gender fluid, etc. aren't sleeping with men. As if this is a sexually transmitted disease or infection. This is not an STD or an STI. This is not gonorrhea, chlamydia. This is not, syphilis. This is not HIV. This is a fucking virus that can literally, touching a steering wheel that is contaminated with monkeypox, you will have it. But of course, when you have dumbasses spreading misinformation, and then again, I'm going to say it, the constant attack against LGBTQ plus individuals across this country and across the globe, across the world. It's just like we are just constantly being targeted. And it's like heterosexuals are having the same amount of sex as homosexuals, as bisexuals, as pansexuals. Heterosexuals are having sex. Hello, where are all these unwanted ass kids coming from? Where are all these unwanted ass pregnancies coming from? Since it's just the gays. That's why I said after a while, use some fucking common sense. And that's really what it is. But of course, can't blame us. Look at our education system. It's piss poor. You're not really taught critical thinking skills. Instead, they're teaching you what to think instead of teaching you how to think. Let's just go there. We are being force-fed propaganda instead of actually being taught, let's learn research skills. Let's actually read and look at facts and data. You have a hypothesis. Let's test that hypothesis. Let's really dig deep. Let's look at the qualitative research and the quantitative research. Let's not just go off of some shit that we heard on Facebook. But anyways, and then the scary part about it is the same people that you see spreading misinformation on social media are elected officials, are in the public health sector. They're in positions of power and leadership, and it's scary out here. And again, if you're lucky enough to be able to get tested, you're in a major city, or you're near a major city and you're able to get tested for monkeypox, I recommend it. And they do say if you feel that you've been exposed to monkeypox, if you feel that you have monkeypox, call your local health department, because they're supposed to be doing contact tracing. Not only do you want to call to let them know, hey, I think I've been exposed or I may have monkeypox, but you also want to call because they can give you a test. But I'm getting misinformation on the test as well, because unless you have legions on you, then how are you going to get tested? I mean, they can test for antibodies, but if you don't have actual monkeypox lesions, because they have to swab the monkeypox lesion to do the test. If they don't have that, it's basically like herpes. Unless you have an actual outbreak and you have herpes on you, like the bumps and the sores and the blisters, they're not going to be able to test you. And again, there are people that are asymptomatic. They have monkeypox, won't get lesions, yet they don't know that they're sick because they don't have any symptoms. Yet they can get somebody else sick, just like COVID, just like HIV. It's like people don't pay. I get upset because it's just like we live, in my opinion, in my perspective, we live in a world that's just selfish and self-centered and don't give a damn. But yet, we also supposedly live in a world that's highly religious, yet religious folks are the main ones causing the problems. So I'm just keeping it real. You're supposed to be talking about love and love thy neighbor and all this other bullshit, but then you find with 1 million plus people dying from COVID, just in the USA alone, y'all, 3,000 plus people died from COVID last week. If you got 3,000 people dying or more per week, that's 12,000 or more people dying per month. And you're fine with that. You're having basically 9/11, World Trade Center attacks. You're having that reoccur basically every week, and you're fine with it. But then you want to sit up here and do all of this bullshit ass, we have to remember, we'll never forget September 11th. It's such a major situation. We lost American lives. But you're fine with American lives dying every fucking week from COVID. You're fine with American lives dying every damn week from mass shootings. You're fine with American lives dying because they don't have food. They don't have shelter. They don't have housing. You're fine with American lives dying. They don't have health care. Miss me with the bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Keep it real. We know you don't like us and you don't care about our lives, but keep it real. Stop trying to make it seem like you really care, but yet your actions are saying otherwise. Basically, if you can get tested, get tested. If you feel like you got monkeypox, feel like you've been exposed, call your local health department, let them know, get tested. And if you can, it is highly, strongly recommended that you get the vaccine within the first 4 days of you feeling like you have it or being exposed to it, or even going into the first 14 weeks. You need to get it, which is dope when you think about it, because COVID vaccine, you cannot actively have COVID and get the vaccine. You have to wait until you test negative. Where with monkeypox, you could have monkeypox and get vaccinated. And it is supposed to reduce the symptoms and the likelihood of serious diseases forming later on down the road. Like how mono, the kissing disease, can literally lead to you having multiple sclerosis. But anyways, I'm about to go in here and take care of some business. But information about monkeypox, COVID, all of that's in the description box below. Get tested. If you can avoid, and I know it's hard for a lot of us, it's hard for me. But if you can avoid having sex, if you could avoid, skin-to-skin contact with people, make sure that you're bleaching and sanitizing and hand sanitizer and washing and cleaning. Wear latex gloves. If you're allergic to latex gloves, get the non-latex gloves. Wear your mask. Get tested. Know your status. And be mindful. Look out for yourself. And when you look out for yourself, look out for others while you're doing it. How about you try it? It actually can benefit our world. Anyways, I'm out.